Tonight, Japan is rocked by a powerful earthquake. Tens of thousands evacuated, roads torn apart, buildings collapsed, trapping people inside.
The whole room was shaking, the TV was shaking.
And officials are warning about dangerous aftershocks. The new year means big changes at the pumps.
Every penny counts.
I wish it was still down where it was last week.
Who will pay more and who is getting a break?
She gets it! Ella Shelton scores! History is hers!
A new era in women's hockey.
We're very excited and to be a part of that historical moment.
The puck drops on the professional league, pride and excitement on and off the ice.
This is The National with Renee Filipponi.
Thanks for joining us. Adrian is away. Aftershocks continue to hit Japan tonight after a series of earthquakes struck the main island's west coast just hours into the new year. The biggest was a magnitude 7.6, and the damage is severe. Roads have broken up, buildings have collapsed, and at least 6 people have died. The quakes were centered around Ishikawa Prefecture on the west coast of Honshu Island across from Tokyo. They triggered tsunami warnings all down the coast and in parts of North Korea and Russia. A major tsunami did not materialize, but as Yvette Bren shows us, the powerful tremors have left a trail of destruction.
The terrifying moments when a powerful quake hit this family home. English teacher Barney Davis took this video 140 kilometers from the epicenter.
It just kept going. It was really long. And like the fridge door was opening and shutting. Pictures were going all over the place. Everything fell off the shelves. It was pretty dramatic.
Violent shaking triggered meter-high waves along Japan's west coast. It collapsed buildings, sparking fires and fear.
The whole room was shaking, the TV was shaking. It is quite scary. Definitely. When you hear about earthquakes in Japan, you wouldn't expect one to actually experience one.
Power was cut to more than 30,000 homes, and the shaking was felt throughout the island, including in the Nagano region.
Suddenly, my phone ringing about the earthquake warning, and suddenly it get pretty strong earthquake. You can see all the snow from the electric wire goes down, and also from the roof go down, and all the car is shaking. So everybody was panicked that time.
At the Ketagran Shrine, where millions traditionally mark the new year, you could hear the structure creaking as it swayed. At the epicenter, roads buckled and homes collapsed. The government says it received reports of at least 6 people trapped in rubble. But no damage was reported at Japan's nuclear plants. Still, nearly 100,000 people were evacuated from their homes over fears a tsunami could hit. The initial major warning later downgraded. It's just the first warning issued since a devastating quake-triggered tsunami killed about 20,000 people in northeastern Japan back in 2011.
When you hear earthquake in Japan, one's mind goes to the Tohoku earthquake.
He says this is the strongest quake in this part of Japan in decades. Strong aftershocks already being reported.
The concern is always that the main shock will have damaged a building and an aftershock can bring it down. But there's a chance, a 1 in 20 chance or so, that there will be a bigger one, that this is actually a foreshock.
For now, he says engineers head in to assess damage to ensure shaken buildings and roads are safe for people's return. Yvette Brand, CBC News, Vancouver.
Kyiv says that Russia launched 90 drones, a record number at targets across Ukraine. Dangerous but slow-moving, air defenses shot down most of the drones, but even falling debris can be deadly, killing a 15-year-old boy in a residential area of Odessa. 3 others died in strikes in the south and east of the country. In occupied Donetsk, Russia claims Ukrainian shelling killed 4 people. Turning to the Middle East, Israel's military says it will begin taking some troops out of the Gaza Strip, even as it continues its war there with Hamas. And as Tanya Fletcher explains, it comes as the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu suffers a sudden setback on the political front.
Within seconds, an Israeli airstrike brings down this building in Han Yunis, a city in the south where hundreds of thousands of Palestinians had fled from earlier battles. But despite the threat of airstrikes, Hamas militants managed to fire off a barrage of rockets into central Israel at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. In Gaza, tens of thousands spent New Year's Day in tent camps. The UN says 85% of Gaza's population now displaced. Half are at risk of starvation. In 2024, I wish to wake up to discover this was all a dream, says this 12-year-old girl. Israel's military says it's scaling back the number of troops deployed to Gaza over the coming weeks. It comes as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu faces international pressure to shift to a lower intensity war in Gaza. And now he's dealing with a political blow on the home front. It centers around a controversial judicial overhaul his government passed in the summer, triggering nationwide protests. It rolled back some of the high court's powers, preventing it from overturning laws it deemed unreasonable. But now, a twist. The Israeli Supreme Court has struck down a key component of that legislation.
Well, this comes as not only is Israel in the middle of a war, which is a huge crisis, but now it potentially creates a kind of constitutional crisis for the government.
It leaves Netanyahu in a precarious balancing act, and some experts say Hamas has exploited Israel's domestic upheaval.
That created a big crisis that Hamas perceived as an Israeli weakness, and that allowed it to start the attack on October 7.
So, Tanya, this Supreme Court decision could have an impact on the war.
That's right, because right now Israel is run by a fragile coalition government, and Netanyahu is already unpopular. Experts I spoke with suggest this could further erode his support, and that could lead to a shift in the government's priority. So that's being closely watched, including here in Washington. The White House says Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris met with national security officials on the Middle East today. No word at this point what came out of those conversations, Renee.
Thanks, Tanya. A memorial service is planned for Friday for one of the two teens who died in the icy Rideau River last week. 17-year-old Riley Cotter was a young athlete, and his death has shaken his ski community.
Just such a kind person, gentle, polite, a good kid that came from a good place that was going to do good things.
Riley Cotter was a competitive skier, and he was on the slopes with the Calabogie Ski Racing Club just hours before he died. This photo was taken showing Riley in his blue ski pants.
One of the things that is frowned upon in the racing club by the coaches mostly is the parents taking photos of their kids, because it distracts from the training environment. But I made that group of kids on Wednesday afternoon stand together with Bruce and with Jake, the other coach, and I took a photo of them.
His ski club, described as a big family, is now mourning his loss. Cotter died along with 17-year-old Ahmed when they went skating later that night and fell through the ice. Edmonton police are looking for a man they say stabbed two people in two different places on New Year's Eve. The only apparent motive, says investigators, random violence.
There was no robbery, or we're not sure the motivation in this. There was nothing taken from either complainant. It's difficult for everybody involved, and it's really hit our team hard, who's doing the investigation.
A 63-year-old man was stabbed first. Then, just 20 minutes later, a 45-year-old standing at a transit center. Both men are in critical condition. The suspect is believed to be between 20 and 30 years old and was seen with a distinctive black and green backpack. As of today, drivers in Alberta are paying more for gas, but in Manitoba, they're paying less. It's all about how much tax those provinces charge at the pumps. Carolyn Dunn shows us why it's happening and how drivers are reacting.
On New Year's Eve, Albertans were lining up to get a bargain at the pumps.
Just anywhere you can save some money is important.
Overnight, that price jumped by at least 9 cents a litre as Alberta's gas tax relief shrunk from 13 cents a litre to just 4 cents.
Every penny counts, and higher taxes means I'm paying more toward the gases. So yeah, not good.
I wish it was still down to where it was last week, but It is what it is.
It's all tied to how much money the province brings in from oil royalties. When the price of oil is high, the gas tax is low or non-existent. But when the price moderates, consumers lose the deep discount at the pumps. Andre Amari says the 20 litres he bought for $25 won't even cover a week of daycare drop-offs and pickups.
Families are now choosing what to do and not what to do. And I can tell you there are people who even skip meals just so that they can afford the basic necessities, rents and even gas.
Now Manitoba is taking a page from Alberta as Premier Wab Kinew's government makes good on an election promise.
The Manitoba NDP is going to cut the provincial gas tax and save you 14 cents a litre.
Big savings for this trucking company, which burns up to 150,000 litres a month.
This thing is a decision. Everybody can get benefit on this one.
Well, as a consumer, I feel okay about it, but on the other hand, as a person who likes a green economy, it's actually not that good because it encourages people to use gasoline rather than other sources of energy.
Manitoba's gas tax holiday will last for at least 6 months. BC has refused such a policy, but with high prices here driven by extra taxes, opposition parties promise to make it an election issue in the fall. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Calgary.
A new year has ushered in a new era for women's hockey. The Professional Women's Hockey League played its first game today before a sold-out crowd in Toronto. Greg Ross was there and has more on the high hopes that this league is here to stay.
Fans, your 2024 PWHL Toronto!
It had all the pomp and circumstance you would expect from professional sports. Player introductions, a light show, and a packed house of screaming fans.
The way the crowd reacted when we came on the ice was really cool. I think just to have that atmosphere.
Felt pretty surreal, seeing the full sold-out crowd and to see all those young girls in the stands.
Young girls like Margot Adams drawing inspiration from her new heroes.
And I do want to play hockey.
In fact, she's already started skating lessons.
Can you skate backwards?
Better than I can skate frontwards.
Tennis legend and women's rights activist Billie Jean King dropped the puck for the ceremonial opening face-off. She's also a member of the league's advisory board.
This is a game to cherish. It's the birth, really, I think, of women's professional hockey to be permanent. Sam Cullen!
She says unlike past attempts to create a professional women's hockey league, the PWHL will have staying power because of its corporate backing.
And you got to have the money, and you got to have enough money for long term, and that's always a challenge.
It's the whole infrastructure. It's all the people that are supporting it, that are behind it. It's the staff, and of course the players.
Wins in Shelton with her stick on the, and she gets it!
The more than 2,500 fans in attendance got to see New York's Ella Shelton score the league's first ever goal. That puck and her stick were shipped off to the Hockey Hall of Fame after the game.
Surreal moment for me. I couldn't tell you if I remember it all that well. Blacked out a little bit during it, but very exciting, humbling, historic moment.
In the end, it wasn't the result the home crowd was hoping for. New York beat Toronto by a final of 4-0. The other two Canadian teams in the league will play their first game against each other tomorrow night when Ottawa hosts Montreal. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
Canadian basketball fans are buzzing about a trade that's brought a big name back home. RJ Barrett is now a Toronto Raptor. He was traded from the New York Knicks as part of a blockbuster deal. And as Caroline Bargout reports, Barrett is just as excited to play for his hometown team.
RJ's in town, back home.
The ink is barely dry on the deal, but RJ Barrett is already in a Raptors jersey in the starting lineup of his new team.
Who doesn't want to come home, play in front of family and friends, and try to, get a team that I've always loved so much.
Barrett grew up in Mississauga, Ontario, watching the Raptors with his dad, Rowan, who was a pro basketball player. Sports reporter Savannah Hamilton remembers Rowan telling her years ago his son was going to make it to the NBA someday.
I kind of was like, okay, sure. And now here he is in the NBA and a true player, a true star.
Barrett, top of the key, good!
Barrett was part of the Canadian men's team that won a bronze medal at the FIBA World Cup in September. It was the first ever World Cup medal for Canada. This summer, he'll be representing Canada at the Olympics, the first time Canada has qualified in basketball in nearly a quarter of a century.
This is an incredible Canadian story, just because RJ is going to the Olympics this upcoming year, and now he's representing the only Canadian NBA team, being the Toronto Raptors.
Barrett was traded from the New York Knicks along with Emmanuel Quickley in exchange for OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, and Malachi Finn. The Raptors also got a second-round pick in this year's NBA draft. Fans were excited to see Barrett and Quickley in action so soon.
He is a player that will bring something new to the team and new energies.
This is his home court advantage all the time, so I'm praying he does good now.
One of the main reasons why we're very excited coming out in the cold tonight, hoping we can see him.
I feel welcome. One thing I tell people is you come to play for the Raptors, you got a whole country behind you, so it's amazing, and hopefully I can make the fans proud.
5-point advantage.
The Raptors have had a disappointing season so far. Barrett says his goal is to help get the team back to where they were in 2019, NBA champions. Caroline Bargood, CBC News, Toronto.
After a contentious race in October, a little-known politician was elected to one of the most powerful roles in America.
The next Speaker of the People's House, Mike Johnson.
So who is Mike Johnson and where are his loyalties?
I'm all in for President Trump.
And we revisit an unlikely friendship torn apart by conflict and violence.
I love him. I still love him until now.
Hello. How Adrian brought them back together. And remembering the moment a filmmaker is shaken by what he caught.
This is once in a lifetime to catch this on film.
We're back in 2. 2024 is a big political year south of the border. There will be a presidential election. But well before that, the new U.S. House Speaker faces a monumental task, passing a long-term spending plan through a very divided Congress. Katie Simpson takes a closer look at who he is and what guides him.
The next Speaker of the People's House, Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson's meteoric rise to power seems to have surprised his friends and colleagues just as much as it did him. His excited shock revealed in his first address as Speaker.
I want to thank my dedicated wife of almost 25 years, Kelly. She's not here. We couldn't get a flight in time. This happened sort of suddenly.
A lawyer by trade, the Louisiana native is a devout Southern Baptist, his faith shaping all aspects of his political and personal life and the lives of his family members, according to this George Washington University professor.
They really wear their religion on their sleeves. It is the defining characteristic of themselves and their family.
Before running for office, Johnson worked for a socially conservative advocacy group and wrote a series of editorials in the mid-2000s against same-sex marriage and LGBTQ rights, calling homosexuality inherently unnatural and a dangerous lifestyle.
He was writing in support of sodomy laws, so to outlaw consensual gay sex. So there are a lot of concerns stemming from that. I mean, and additionally, of course, abortion and reproductive rights is another area where he's been quite extreme and quite on the far right.
A newborn child lacks the immediate...
Upon entering Congress, Johnson co-sponsored legislation to ban abortion nationwide after 6 weeks of pregnancy and voted against protecting same-sex marriage. He's also a favorite of former President Donald Trump, enthusiastically endorsing him ahead of the 2024 election.
I'm all in for President Trump. I expect he'll be our nominee.
Johnson has defended January 6th rioters, promising to blur faces from the day's security camera footage.
We don't want them to be retaliated against and to be charged by the DOJ and to have other concerns and problems.
All of this has made Johnson a divisive figure, adding to the already intense polarization gripping Congress. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
As Israel's war with Hamas sees no end in sight, we revisit a connection amid conflicts. The reunion that left an Israeli and Palestinian in tears.
I have a weak heart, you know. You have to be careful with me.
And A charity steps in to bring back music to schools hit hard by funding cuts.
I felt like happy because we could actually play on a lot of different instruments.
The National breaks down the stories shaping our world next. Now we go deeper into the stories shaping our world. And this is the kind of story that many people say the world needs more of. A look back at the enduring bond between an Israeli man and the Palestinian man who called him friends.
Why did you keep this picture all these years?
Because I love him. I still love him until now.
Adrian first told their story back in 2007. Tonight, we're telling it again to remind everyone that human beings yearn to find connection, no matter their background. As the war rages between Israel and Hamas, the animosity it generates can feel overwhelming. Here's Adrian with something more hopeful. The story of Moshe and Munir in a land that has changed so much since 2007.
Appropriately enough, it all started with the olive harvest. It was October 2004 in the troubled hills near Nablus in the West Bank, as the Darwish family gathered the fruit from their own trees on their own land. This is Munir Darwish. As content as he appeared, days earlier, he'd seen something that frightened him. A radical Israeli settler who lived high on the hill above his village had shot and wounded Munir's friend while they walked together in their fields. It was one of several attacks on Palestinians that year. He showed us where it happened and had nothing but venomous words for the settler with the gun.
إذا هذا مربى فكره ومخه حاقد على الأديان كلها لا يحترم الأديان جميعها نهائيا هو بس عنصري حاقد قاتل مجرم هذا هو المستوطن في رأيي.
He'd come to loathe the settlers, but in the middle of the conversation, he was suddenly eager to make one thing very clear, that he didn't hate all Israelis.
The people of Israel, I like them. I work in Israel after يعني منذ 10 years. Someone, the son of my headmaster, yes. I make for him this, like this. He come.
With his broken English, Munir told a story of once working in Israel for a man who built swimming pools. He made friends with his boss and grew close to the man's son.
That's the beast. Not the beast is shooting.
Munir wouldn't let this tale go. And at his home, while his wife made lunch, he pulled out pictures he'd treasured for 15 years of people he hadn't seen since.
What's his name?
His name Gideon.
Gideon. What's his last name?
Father's name Moshe Shinar.
Moshe. Gideon Moshe Shinar.
Yeah. I sung for him F in Ibrit. F for Itzba. Yani where's your finger?
You would sing for him in Hebrew?
I sing for him. F for Itzba, F for Itzba, Hine ho.
You played a lot with him. He was like your son.
Yes, I like him like my son. You see how I am very pleased with him. You see.
A sweet, clear memory of a lost time. Given how much ugliness has passed between Israelis and Palestinians in recent years, it can seem hard to fathom that once some had been friends, had trusted each other. But a few do remember and talk of an era of cherished connections between the two, of Israelis who went freely into Palestinian villages, of Palestinians who worked for and toiled alongside Israelis, a time of real human contact.
In the late 80s, early 90s, almost 200,000 Palestinians, just like Munir, worked in Israel. But when over time the violence here started to get worse, the numbers started to drop. The work permits for Palestinians started to disappear. and Israelis stopped going into Palestinian cities and towns. A culture of political and physical separation developed, and ever so gradually, the basic human relationships just vanished. That's what happened between Munir Darwish and the Israeli he remembered from so long ago, Moshe Shinar. So what became of Moshe? Munir had explained he lived near the sea. The pool company, Alpha Pools, wasn't hard to find. Still in business when we went to have a look in late 2004. The Israeli economy had picked up, and one of Moshe's other sons, Danny, was working away near Tel Aviv. At his side, an Israeli Arab colleague, but no Palestinians from the West Bank or Gaza. Those days were over.
When I'm sitting with my friends, they don't know Palestinians at all. They're afraid from them. So I have to explain to them how they live, how they behave, to explain to them that not all the Palestinians are like they see in the television.
Did he remember Munir? Remember the bond forged with his little brother Gidon? Not really. But Danny was sure, just a few kilometers away, that his dad would be at home, and he'd certainly remember.
Shalom.
Shalom, Moshe. I'm Adrian. Nice to meet you, finally.
Shalom.
The mention of Munir brought instant recognition. Moshe's wife, Candy, went to fetch photos of her own.
Here are the photographs. Yeah, this is when we were building the pool in Eilat. And there's Munir.
That treasured little boy Gidon, all grown up. In his hands, a keychain Munir had once made him.
Remember Munir, I can't, but I remember a nice feeling inside when Munir, I have fun with him. But it was a
At least, though, he had a memento of those days. His younger sister Emily couldn't even imagine them. Like so many Israelis and Palestinians of her generation, she knew little of the other.
So you'd like to meet Palestinians?
Yes.
But you haven't had a chance yet? It's such a shame. It's because these are the next generations of Palestinians that we have to make peace with. And in order to make peace, you have to know each other, you have to talk to each other, you have to see each other, you have to work with each other, you have to eat with each other.
In my time, the beautiful day that we have every Saturday to take all the family, to go to Nablus, to go to a lot of places, to meet people, to sit and talk, drink coffee, and we going again, and then coming to us. It was like you're going on a vacation in the country.
The opportunities he once had with Munir are gone. A friend whose face and voice had been lost to Moshe for years, until we played back the tape of that day in the olive grove.
God, look, he's great. He was ginger. Oh.
The people of Israel, I like them. I work in Israel after يعني منذ
He's wearing the
10
same
years.
glasses.
The son of my headmaster, yes. I make for him this, like this. He come and put his arm around my neck. And I told him, that's the beast. Not the beast is shooting.
What's his name?
His name Gidon.
Gidon. What's his last name?
Gidon, his father's name Moshe Shinar.
Moshe. Gidon Moshe Shinar.
Yeah. And this is Gidon. You see how I am very pleased with him. You see.
Why did you keep this picture all these years?
Because I love him. And I want to see the world. That's the relation between us and the Israelis after 10 years old.
This is in the lab.
Time, because I love him. I still love him until now.
מסכן, תראה איך הוא הזדקן.
That seemed to take you a bit by surprise.
That was unexpected.
Can you explain why that affected you so?
So many years together, we're eating together with the same plate. We sleep in the same village or the same hotel that we're building. Listen, this is, I think it was 8 years or 12 years, I don't remember. When I'm working with people, we become family, more than a family.
Would you like to see him? Would you like to meet him?
Did somebody throw a stone on you once? You felt? So you know the situation. If I have to go to the West Bank and they put stones on me, now they should. I'm not going to be there.
And what about him coming here? How would that work?
It doesn't work. Unless you bring him in your suitcase.
He can't. Can he get permission to come?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
But there's no license to get to Israel. Unless you in Abu Allah, Abu Mazen, Abu.
And so, certainty that life won't get better, that these friends will never meet again. The Shinar is too nervous to go into the West Bank. The army and governmental restrictions on movement likely too tough to allow Munir to get past the checkpoints into Israel to see them. Theirs is the type of resignation that comes after decades of disappointments. In the long years that Moshe and Munir had been apart, so much blood was spilled, so much hope humbled into the landscape. Even in the months and years after we met them, the pattern of despair didn't change. The occupation continued to crush. There were moments of massive political turbulence and grotesquely familiar violence. Periodically, we checked in.
Assalamu alaikum.
In 2006, when Palestinians voted for a new government, Munir went eagerly to the polls, looking for any sort of change that might bring Palestinians out of poverty. Moshe, too, was contemplating change, triple bypass surgery and the winding down of some of his work. They still hadn't connected with each other. Few Israelis and Palestinians were connecting. Israel's barrier separating them just kept growing, and the political chasm between them only widened. By June of this year, Munir was struggling.
My mother died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For 40 days.
Having just buried his mother, he found himself caring for his sister in what would prove to be her last days. Work and joy were scarce. So we asked Munir if maybe some time with his old friend might help a little bit. He knew we'd found Moshe. It just wasn't clear if we could find a way to get them together.
He remember or not remember?
Oh,
yes,
for sure he remembers.
Yes. Moshe is good. He's a good human.
How are you?
Great. Like $1 million. Nice to see you. So you're all set?
Yeah, I'm sorry that Candy, she's not here. She's at London now.
And Gidon?
Gidon is study.
He can't come.
He can't come because, you know, the army paying for his study in university.
Just so I get my bearings here. Okay, so we're right here. Now Munir lives right around here.
Nablus.
Okay, close to the Nablus area, in a little village right around here. We're going to meet him right here, at the gas station near Ariel. How far away do you think roughly this is?
It's 1 hour, maybe 40 minutes.
When was the last time you think you were in this area here?
Oh, a long time.
You're not afraid of me driving, are you?
Oh, this is a little bit of a problem.
And so, the ride to the West Bank, the journey Moshe once said he'd become too nervous to make. The compromise, the meeting would take place just outside an Israeli settlement. That's as far as he could go.
To Mr. Moshe.
And near Nablus, the trip had become an event. Munir's arms loaded with gifts from his land. We'd approached the army for the right clearances, and in theory, he had permission to travel through a checkpoint. It wasn't as far as Israel as he'd wanted. Still, Munir didn't seem disappointed.
This is the best moment in my life.
And Moshe, always the philosopher.
So what does all this separation do?
Listen, every person, it doesn't born mean. Everything is education, what he see around him, how he see the family, his friends, from the beginning.
Just a roadside restaurant. This is the meeting place and Moshe is ready, but Munir's not here. The right permissions with the army are in place, but with checkpoints, there's no guarantee.
Oh, wow.
Today, though, no problems.
Wallah, Munir. Ahlan. How are you?
How are you, Moshe?
Your white hair, what happened to you?
How are you?
Bo, sit down, come. Sit.
15, maybe 18 years. They can't remember the last time they did this.
It's good to cry sometimes.
Yes, it's good to cry.
So,
For Gidon,
Gidon is studying in the university.
this is the photo I can take. Here, this is my wife. This is my sister. And this
Nice.
is Hammam now.
Oh, nice boy.
Yeah.
And your mother passed away. You kill me. I have a weak heart, you know. You have to be careful with me.
Thank you.
for an hour or so, it is the old days again.
I have a little girl now, Emily.
Emily.
This is Giddy.
It's beautiful.
You see, and this is Candy with me. We're going to wedding.
Oh, well, I thank God to see you again.
You see, in the end, it's going to be peace, so we can make a big party.
Inshallah.
What is your telephone number?
This time, new numbers and addresses are exchanged, promises to try, in the face of all the obstacles here, to somehow keep that connection.
Okay.
Maybe they will. If they do, it will likely take a huge effort. And will make Moshe and Munir rare souls here indeed.
Now, Adrian tells us the friends were never able to meet again in person, but they did manage to keep in touch over the phone through the years. Sadly, Moshe has passed away. Next, schools across Canada are struggling to keep the music on in classrooms.
Most of the fundraising the school does, or that our community partners do, it goes towards food security.
How a charity linked to the Junos is making a difference. When kids head back to school after the holiday break, there is one subject that remains uncertain: music. With few instruments and less funding, many classes are going silent. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson shows us how one charity is stepping in to bring back the music.
For many students at this New Brunswick elementary school, music classes are the highlight of the day. But providing instruments for them is a luxury the rural school can't usually afford.
A large number of our students are low income. Most of the fundraising the school does, or that our community partners do, it goes towards food security and clothing.
But this year, with the help of a music education charity, the school was able to buy ukuleles, guitars, drums, and other instruments. The first time this grade 4 class will have instruments to play during their holiday concert.
I felt happy because we could actually play on a lot of different instruments.
Music Counts, a charity affiliated with the Junos, has been providing instruments to schools in need for 25 years. Cuts to music education funding in many provinces means the need is growing, but Music Counts can only fund about 1 in 5 schools that apply.
Often we'll receive applications from schools that are teaching music on Home Depot buckets. So they are teaching drums on buckets. So that is the state of music education in some schools.
Okay, ready?
The positive effects of the new instruments can be seen at this Toronto high school. For new Canadians like Alex Korobov, who moved here from Ukraine, music provides a universal language while he's still learning English. This new set of steel pan drums have been a big hit with all students. For Zoe Bailey, they link her to her Caribbean roots.
So knowing that I didn't grow up there, when I have a piece of it here, it's really nice.
I see the difference it makes in the lives of students. It gets them away from phones, just the self-discipline and self-motivation when they see progress. And I would encourage all schools, and if you have the ability to get more instruments, do not skip the arts.
While instruments can't last forever, the benefits of playing them might be lifelong. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
An extraordinary wildlife moment caught on camera.
Not only one antler, but both antlers shook off at the exact second.
Our top moment of 2023 next. We have been counting down our best moments of 2023. In the top spot, the spectacular moment a moose shed its antlers.
I would put it at 1 in a million. This past Thursday afternoon, I was flying my drone and spotted these 3 moose that were bedded just off the road. So I'm watching this happen, and actually I'm thinking in my mind, as a shed hunter, this might actually happen. As he shook himself, you saw what happened. This is Once in a lifetime to catch this on film. Not only one antler, but both antlers shook off at the exact second is crazy rare. And man, when they flew off, I shook a little bit. I was adrenaline rush for sure. I've found a few hundred sheds in my life. Very rare do you find both together. That bull could carry the other side for up to a week, even longer sometimes.
Oh, I see them.
This just made it extra special to have both. It was an amazing moment just to be able to walk in and grab those sheds. He's 17 points, 45 roughly inch spread. So I'd put him at about a 3 or 4 year old bull. This is definitely winning the lottery when it comes to film and wildlife.
Some incredible moments we saw in 2023, and we look forward to sharing more of them throughout this year with you as well. Thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime for free at the CBC News app and subscribe to the Nationals YouTube channel. I'm Renee Filipponi. Take care.